famous T206 set the only one where the name on the back of the card is often just as, if not more important than the one on the front? For many collectors, brands such as Uzit, Tolstoi, and Lennox garner more attention than legendary names of the game such as Ty Cobb, Cy Young, and Christy Mathewson. The mystery behind the reverse sides of these gorgeous pieces of baseball history creates just as much intrigue as the players on the front. But which T206 backs are the rarest? In a moment, we'll break it down with the help of PSA pop counts and the work of avid T206 historians. But first, let's lead off with a bit of background on this famous piece of trading card lore. The 1909 to 1911 T206 set, also known as the White Border series, was produced by the American Tobacco Company, or ATC. The cards were slipped into tobacco products for protective and promotional purposes. When a card was inserted into a product, that product's branding was printed on the back of the card, along with the factory from which the product and card were distributed, as well as the print run the card belonged to. There are 524 generally accepted lithographic illustrations in the T206 set. These are often called subjects. Some popular players such as Cy Young, Ty Cobb, and Christy Mathewson have multiple subjects. That means there are fewer than 524 different players in the set. Modern-day collectors might not bat an eye at a 524 card checklist, but subjects were inserted into multiple types of ATC tobacco products. That means multiple versions of cards, each with different brand advertising on the back. The same subject could also have varying factory and series numbers too. Many believe these variables push the potential number of cards in a true T206 master set past 6,000. With a number that monstrous, some collectors use the backs to narrow down which copies to target. There are 16 generally accepted backs, though one remains a hotly contested topic in the T206 community. We'll start our dive into these brands with the two most common. The percentages referenced going forward relate to the population of PSA-graded T206 copies. Piedmont and Sweet Caporal account for about 75% of T206 copies. They're by far the two easiest to find and provide a decent entry point for many collectors. Next comes Old Mill, which makes up about 5% of T206 issues. It has three variations: Major League and Southern League backs with black lettering, and the extremely rare Southern League backs with brown lettering. The deep blue color of polar bear advertising is found on just over 4% of T206 cards. They were slipped straight into pouches of raw tobacco, leading to stain marks on many copies. It's perhaps the most attractive back, especially to this collector. Sovereign also accounts for about 4% of T206 cards. Two brands with international flavor, EPDG and Tolstoi, are next in the T206 lineup, both of which are found on just over 1% of T206 issues. The three versions of American Beauty branding are also on about 1% of T206 issues, as is Cycle advertising. The next six backs are extremely rare, each covering less than 1% of the T206 population. Hindu has brown and black printing variations. Carolina Brights is one of the most attractive brandings, while Broadleaf comes in two different dark brown designs. Lennox was primarily printed in black, though there have been a few examples uncovered with brown lettering. Many collectors beat the drum for drum advertising. It's the most popular T206 back, with its rarity and gorgeous violet lettering. And then there's Uzit, which is believed to be the rarest T206 back, and therefore the most coveted for many. And here's where we get back to that hotly contested debate about generally accepted T206 backs. The ultra-elusive Ty Cobb King of the Smoking World back is one of the most intriguing aspects of the T206 series. It's only found on one type of T206 card, the Ty Cobb Portrait, with a red background. These printings are known as Cobb with Cobb back cards. Now, there's uncertainty about whether the American Tobacco Company printed these cards. And it's unknown if they were distributed in tobacco products like the rest of the T206 copies, or if they were simply handed out for promotional purposes. They were also distributed from factory number 33 in North Carolina, a location from which no other T206 copies came. The Cobb with Cobb back mystery is just one of many unknown aspects of the T206, which makes it that much more alluring to collectors more than 110 years after its release. The reverse side advertising of the T206 set has become just as defining and influential as the players on the front of the cards. It provides a range of options for collectors who would otherwise be facing the downright intimidating prospect of tracking down 6,000 plus cards. Learn more about the T206 backs and the set as a whole in our definitive guides.